Hey folks, Fable here. So I'm sort of back from my injury. I am still recovering, but for the most part, I did try to climb to Master 5 before the season end last month. And this was the deck I used to climb with. Of course, I made some slight adjustment, and that's mainly adding back the Fenrir and of course the Ash Blossom. But otherwise, the deck is still the same deck list I have been running since the reset of that month. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to show some replays from Diamond 3 up to Diamond 2 for today, and then next part 2 of course will be the Diamond 1 to Master from last season's climb. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Alrighty, so this first match in Diamond 3, I will be going first, and here's a pretty good hand. So I'm going to obviously use Joker to see if they have an Ash or Imperm or Veiler, and looks like they don't, because typically they do Ash the Joker. So I'm going to Revolution just to check one more time, and this confirms they don't. So I'm going to scale Luster and scale the Phoenix. This will trigger the Luster to pop the Phoenix, to have another Phoenix, which will also trigger Phoenix on destruction to special summon a name, and that name becomes a tuner. So I add Sky Iris, right, and discard my Valid because I can always pitch for later, scale the Might, and then make my Ignister Prominence. And now Ignister Prominence is going to special. I'm going to choose to special another name. It does not matter here. I'm going to scout for Nibiru just in case, and of course they did not have a Nibiru here. So I'm going to make Beyond the Pendulum. Beyond is going to search me a low scale. I'm going to search Odd Eyes Seers. So Seers in hand, this will give me access to the Sky Iris plus Seer combo, which will be the Odd Eyes line. So I'm going to pen from here, and then I'm going to basically pen out all the names, and then I'm going to make Paladin. Paladin here is going to end phase search, and now I'm going to use this effect special from the extra deck at name. Now I'm going to activate Sky Iris, then I'm going to make Selene, and then Sky Iris is going to pop my Might to add me the Arc of course, and then I'll activate Seers to trigger its effect to add back the Revolution I used, and then this will again trigger the Arc to special summon a name, and that name can be from graveyard, deck, or hand. So I'm going to choose to revive back the Valid. Valid's effect is going to mill the Pensork. Then I set 1 and then activate Selene to summon the Pensork to pop 2. Now I'm going to pop the Sky Iris plus the Tactics to add me Dissolver and Synchron. Now I'm going to take 2 names, 2 pendulums to make Electromite. Now Electromite's effect, everyone knows this effect. Electromite just adds the Astro to the extra deck. I scale the Revolution, activate Revolution to revive the Ignister. This will trigger the mandatory effect of Electromite to draw 1. So I drew Nibiru. Now I'm going to make Zeal to reset the field. I'm going to activate Ignister first, and then Tribute 2 activates Might to make, of course, the Tidal Stir. And then Electromite pops to add the Astro, and I activate Astro to serve into Revolution. And then I just reset everything here, I believe. Yeah, I reset everything here. So everything's on field again. So of course I choose not to revive the Zeo because of space, but I make Croc Sheep. Now I go into Pegasus. Then I'm going to use Dissolver to make me the Vortex, pitching the Odd Eye Synchron in hand. This will trigger Croc Sheep to revive back the Synchron. And now I link those off, fuse those off to make Baron. And then I use the Electromite to pop the Dissolver to add the Astro. Astro, I'm going to use the effect again to search the Revolution and become a body on field. This will mean Croc Sheep plus Astrocraft plus Electromite will make me the Appaloosa. And now using Revolution in hand, I should Dinosaur to revive, to link it off into IP Masquerena. And then I scale both Revolutions to revive both the level 8s to of course make the Hope Harbinger. And that's basically the full-on combo board. In terms of resource afterwards, well, there's not much. So if they break the board, they break the board, and I'm in a really tight spot because I would need to recycle the Revolution to try and come back if they do try to break board. But anyway, yeah, that's basically full-on combo, and unfortunately for me, they opened the one Amato Iwado, the one Imato, and Runic Stall. So at this point I can't really do much here, so they're just gonna break the board and they're just gonna deck me out for the most part because I have no answers to what they're gonna do. And yeah, they're just gonna do whatever. So at this point, yeah, screw it, I just move on to the next game. Alright, so the second game in Diamond 3, I am going second, and it looks like I believe it was an Exo Sister player. So fortunately for me, I did open Nibiru, which is good. So they did D-shift, of course. That means that I cannot maxi if I did not respond to it. So they're going to go Exorcist or Sophia into their Capistil. Capistil, of course, will search them to Martha. And then Martha's effect will special summon another name from the deck. So after Martha's effect resolves and whatnot, special summons, that's when I will nib, because that is the 5th summon. So at this point, I choose the Nibiru. And it's hard for them to come back from this point on because they already used up their normal summon. And they need a name special, of course. So they set 1 and pass. So it's back to me. Now, we're under D-Shift, keep that in mind. This hand is still enough for games. I'm going to Joker here, and they're going to Ash it, which is totally fine because now I have Triple Tactics live. So I'm going to use TTT here, of course, to draw 2 to see if I can get more extension plays instead of trying to take the token, right? I can take the token and go for a game if I wanted to, but I chose to just go for the draw 2. So scale the Might, activate Sky Iris. Sky Iris is going to pop the Might to add me Revolution. I'm going to activate Revolution here to search me the Luster. And now I'm going to, I believe I scaled the Luster and scaled the Might. And then I use the effect of Might because there's no point using the effect of Luster. And now I make, of course, the Ignister Prominence. Ignister's effect will special summon a name. So I'm going to special summon any name at this point. And I'm going to impermanent, which is totally fine. That just means I can't go over any other extension plays. But what I can do is just go for battle. And then just run it over for nib, and they're under 2 Ash anyway, so regardless of what happens here, they do need a lot of plays to try and make something, which they can't because it's hard for them to do so. So they're going to set 1 and pass back to me, and now I draw 1 card. They're going to Maxi, which is really useless because I have an Ash for it, and because it was Maxi during the draw phase, of course my TDT won't be live unless they activate a monster during the main phase, but they're going to scoop it up, and so on to game 3. Alright, so in this game I am going first, and my hand's pretty bad, so they Ash for in for my Joker. My plays are really limited right now, so I'm going to normal Joker and see if they have anything, and of course they had an Imperm, so that means I cannot access my Pegasus line, or Draco Slayer plays, of course. So at this point, I decided, okay, just go for Dissolver into Vortex. So I'm going to Dissolver, fuse the Joker plus the Arc, they're going to Maxi that, I will Ash the Maxi, and then so they have to play with 1 negate plus a 3000 defense Vortex, of course. And I'm going to keep my Pegasus in hand to hopefully have some follow-up later. Though the issue is, because I put this over in scale and because it is a scale 4, if I don't have means of removing it just to get to my names, it's going to be a lot difficult to come back. But of course, luckily for me, they did have a Duster, so thank God they're going to destroy my Dissolver because I really needed them to destroy the Dissolver. And it looks like they're playing a Spriggan deck, so I'm not really too familiar with that deck. So I'll let them do what they need to do. They Nabla, which I'll let through, of course, and they're going to circular end phase. I'm guessing they did not want to do anything from there on out. I'm like, okay, sure. So I had obviously Drew Maxi. So at this point, okay, just run over the circular and pass, and just go into a stall game right now. Let's see what happens. So it's back to them, and I'm going to Maxi here to play around Triple Tactics Talents. And of course, if they open Femir, they're going to pass, which is totally fine. I draw a card. And I was like, cool, finally, 8 plays. So I'm going to scale both my Pegasus, right? And I'm going to activate Pegasus effect to search me a name. I choose to add Might. And then, of course, I'm going to pop herself and then scale the Might, activate Might to special the Pegasus. Now I'm just going to take a risk here and make Beyond or something. And it looks like they didn't have any means to stop it to begin with. So Beyond is a safe play. So Beyond is going to search. I choose to search Sears. And then I'm scaling the Sears and then just pen from here. And this is full combo regardless of what it looks like. So I'm gonna pen up both Pegasus and link it off to make, of course, the Electromite. Electromite is going to search me the Astrograph. Actually, no, I decided to search Revolution here. So I'm gonna pop the Might, add the Revolution. This will trigger Electromite to draw a card. And I drew, that's totally fine. Activate Revolution here to search me Luster. And then I'm activating Sears to add back the Revolution. So I'm not going to my Odd line the way I'm supposed to, but I'm going to scale the Ignis, scale the Luster, activate Luster to pop the Ignis. This will activate Ignis' effect to special summon a name. I, of course, summon another Luster, normal, and then make the Ignister Prominence. Or just go for game. There's no point in going for full combo here. But anyway, this is pretty much GG. And yeah, on to the next game. Alrighty, so this is my promo match to Diamond 2, and my hand is quite susceptible to one Ash, but let's hope they didn't have one. So Ada's Revolution, of course, going to search Luster. Luckily, there was no Ash to that, so I'm going to scale Luster, scale the Might, and just double check one more time they did have an Ash, and at this point they did not. So I'm going to search another Might, scale the Might, and then just typically go into Prominence here, right? So go to Prominence, Prominence effect summons Pegasus. Pegasus will discard a card, and of course search Sky Iris, the typical stuff. Now here it's safe to make the Beyond. Now I know they don't have anything. Beyond, search your typical low scale, which is Sears. Now you're going to scale Sears and just pen from here. I'm not going to use Pen Source effect just yet because I want to save it for later in the combo. Paladin's effect is special, and then after Sky Iris, then you make Celine. And then from here, I'm going to use the effect of Sky Iris to pop the Might to add the Arc, pop the Sears to add back to Revolution, triggering the Arc to special summon the Valid. Now I already have Pensork in the graveyard, so I'm just going to mill Joker. So I'm going to make Electromite here. Electromite is just going to search your Astrograph, and then scale the Revolution. Revolution summons Prominence. This will trigger the Electromite to draw. Activate Prominence is special. Now this is when I'm going to use Pensork's effect. So Celine, Revive, Pensork, pop 2. Popping the Phoenix to trigger the Phoenix effect to summon another name, which I don't have to here, of course, but I choose to. Then activate Electromite to pop and add Astro. Astro searches Revolution, right? So here I make Zeal. Zeal's just going to reset everything. From here on out, I'm going to link them off to make Cross Sheep, the Zeal plus the Astrograph. Then I activate Prominence to special, then Dissolver to fuse into Vortex. This will trigger Cross Sheep to special. And then I make the Baron. And then Electrum pops, and then adds Astrograph, and then hold on Astrograph to make the Appaloosa. Then activate Revolution, and then revive the Ignister to return the Sork. Now here I did a slight misplay. I forgot to make Dinosaur to continue my combo, so at this point I was like deciding between either Hope or IP Masquerena. I decided to just go for the IP Masquerena and just pass with this because I also was low on timer, and just said screw it, I should have enough anyway. But that was a slight misplay on my part anyway. But anyway, back to them, and Pot of Extravagance will be active. I'm going to Ash that, of course, and at this point I knew it's a back row based deck or something related to the back row. And at this point, oh yeah, it's Mekanko, so screw it. I should have enough to stop them anyway because they forgot to get rid of my IP Masquerena, which is the one thing that will stop them from OTKing me, of course. So they're going to double-edged sword, they're going to go for gold, and at this point, yeah, they're going for battle phase. I decided, okay, IP Masquerena, Unicorn, discard, bounce that, and then just, or rather not bounce it, because I forgot that I can't target it, which is totally fine. I just need to get rid of Lava Golem, so they don't have enough for a game. I also got rid of Unicorn, of course, just in case they had something else. So back to me, it's okay. I have enough for a game anyway. Drew Maxi, that's whatever. Anyway, scale Revolution, scale Pegasus, pen from here. I pen out the Arc, and after Revolution to revive back the Prominence. Prominence effect is special. I special summon my Luster. I attribute both to make Dinosaur's effect to revive back to Pegasus, activate Prominence to pop the scale, bounce that because it's non-targeting, and then just go for a game. And then of course, BM with the Max Siege as the final blow. Don't do this, but anyway, GG. Alright, so this will be my last duel for today's, and I'll pick up the rest tomorrow. And this is a very optimal hand, so we're gonna go of course Revolution. Revolution searches Luster. Looks like they didn't have an Ash here, but just to make sure, we're gonna scale Pegasus, scale the Luster. We're gonna activate Luster first, and there's the Ash. That was purely bait, because the actual search will be of course Pegasus. So that's fine. We're gonna now use Pegasus here to search for our Dynamite. And then we are of course going to pop the Luster. Then we're going to scale the Might. After Might to special summon the Pegasus. Now I can't obviously use her effect to search Sky Iris because Sky Iris is in hand. We're going to normal the Luster and then make Prominence. At this point I realized they had an Imperm, so I'm going to Prominence here. There's the Imperm, and that's totally fine because I have Sky Iris. But unfortunately, because I did open 2 Revolutions, I am going to my 3rd Revolution here, which is still okay. Anyway, Sky Iris is going to pop Prominence to add me Revolution, scale Revolution, and then revive Prominence. Prominence effect again to go into Beyond. Beyond's effect is going to search me a low scale, so I'm going to search Sears, add Sears, scale Sears, pen from here. Typical stuff, right? Except because we're down Revolutions, we're just gonna have to recycle it as best we can in this situation. Anyway, so pen out Pegasus, make Paladins and face Surge, and then special from the extra deck a name. Of course, it does not matter here. Then Sears adds the Revolution back. I'm not going to the Arc Blades because I cannot. Then our Revolution is going to revive back the Prominence. Prominence effect again to special summon. And then make Electromite. Electromite here is going to search your Astrograph. And then, well, actually at this point I just like, nah, it's just recycle for a Revolution instead. I just add Astrograph. And it is Scoop. Well then. Alrighty, so that's basically it for today. Like I said early on, I'm just going to pick this up tomorrow for part 2. And yeah, if you have any questions, just feel free to leave in the comments. But this was from last season. This season, I'm probably going to use the same deck list. I'm not sure just yet because the meta will be shifting quite drastically in the coming weeks. But we'll see. So anyway, I'm going to go back to resting because I am still quite in pain for the most part. But yeah, take care everybody, and Fable is out.